In this video, we're going to cover how to use PulseAudio for your Internet Morse on ICW using keyboards and paddles and keys and bugs, whatever you want. First thing to do in Mumble is get it to PulseAudio default. So we have the default input in PulseAudio here, default output. And let me do paddles. Okay, we've got action there. Here's a keyboard from CW type. We got good to go there. And from YP log, good to go there. Or even have FL Digi queued up. So all three software keyboards are moving. And we've got paddles from my 555 circuit. And from the previous video, we have a straight key hooked to that 555. And of course, we got a K1EL keyboard hooked to it, a K40. And this is what it sounds like. So that all those things are coming into the mic jack by taking the 555 chip, going to the Hypermite CW active bandpass filter, and then to the mic jack. And that's exactly how you're hearing it after the Hypermite. So Hypermite does an amazing job on that. And the rest of it is all done through PulseAudio. We're using one PulseAudio command, pactl load module loopback. And this is a little bit advanced, but in general, it's a learning curve that's worth putting the work into it. So I'm using 3 loopbacks, and you just tell it in recording what you want to start with. So in this case, let's say I'm starting with the mic in jack. From the mic in jack, we go to the playback and find the loopback and tell it to go to the sound card so we can hear it. So I'm taking the input of the mic jack through this PulseAudio loopback and telling it to go to my sound card. And then you do it again and tell it to go to the loopback. And ALSA already has a bunch of loopbacks that you can use if you set it up correctly. And this is not a tutorial about that. This is just a showcase to show you that it can be done. So with that one command, I can set up loopbacks so that I can get my paddles coming into the mic jack to the sound card and to mumble input. Mumble is listening. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick. Mumble is listening on the loopback card. So here's the mumble microphone. So you need the PAVU control so you can do it this way. So you have mumble there. The microphone is monitor of that loopback. So I'm sending everything on my desktop to that loopback cable and to the sound card so I can hear it. So whether it's keyboards or paddles, I'm able to send it to the input of mumble. As you see, they're all pretty well set. Well, the trickiest part in all this is getting these volumes correct. So you don't want to blow out the input to mumble. And it's a little bit of a learning curve, so just look up. Then the show notes there will have some further literature for you to study that if you're interested. And of course we'll help you. Just send me an email. If you're a ham radio guy, just send me an email or leave me a comment here and I'll get back to you. But this is kind of interesting. Let's do a loopback test here real quick. Get this away so you can see the meters. Server, apply. Now it's going from Midwest to California and back. First tone is me starting, and the second tone is as it arrives back at this station. Now that's pretty good latency for that far of a trip. So it makes for a very good QSK, back and forth. Mumble is full duplex, so you both can send at the same time. So if you want to break somebody, they'll definitely hear it in less than a second. That's probably 100 milliseconds or around between the first tone and the second tone. So that's really good performance, just sort of like you do when you have an internet VoIP phone call. So this is PulseAudio doing its thing. It's very complicated in some ways, and the concept is fairly simple since you're just using PulseAudio. But I'm able to get CW instruments of all sorts from the outside the computer to the computer through a 555 sidetone that goes to the hypermic, that gets filtered, then has just the right amount of volume to the mic input jack. The mic input jack then through PulseAudio goes to the sound card and to that loopback cable that where Mumble is listening for the input. So the loopback functions, and this is the snd-aloop, the ALSA cable. The PulseAudio loopback is just for itself, but you can tell it from the starting point. Say this microphone that I'm using here, which is a USB microphone, I tell it in the recording, I find that loopback and I say I want to take my USB microphone. So you click that on the right here. This is it right here, this AK5370. And then we go over here and try to find it. It'll say loopback from. Let's see if I can get it real close here. There it is right there. Loopback of the AK5370. So it's receiving it, and as you see, this VU meter and my voice are aligned up. Then you go to the right and says, where do you want that audio to go? I want it to go to the sound card. And I also have another one, that's doing a similar thing too. So you can have as many PulseAudio loopbacks to connect to all the sound cards. So let me open that up and I'll show you how many there are. If we can find it here, bear with me. Okay, this straight over here. So I can tell it to go to a bunch of different ones. If it'll ever bring up the menu here. There we go. So I have a Behringer, so I could send it to the Behringer, but right now I'm just sending it to the sound card. I have 5 ALSA loopback cables. Then it has a simulcast. Now this simulcast is important. I'm using that for FL Digi. So I'm telling PulseAudio to send simultaneously to every sound card I have. And so that means I can hear it to my sound card, and it will automatically go to all the loopback cables with which Mumble is listening to one of them. So it gets it all going, and it takes a while to get all this figured out, but it's a pretty cool technology, and it's worth the effort to try to learn about it. But if you do have PulseAudio, you want to use PulseAudio, and you want to try some Internet Morse, you can do it with PulseAudio because I'm doing it right now. I just wanted to demonstrate that. Thanks for watching.